everyone. We've got some more bug news today. This was published on the 27th, and it is an interesting topic associated with spotted lanternfly, which is the part that airports play in the spread of invasive species. So this is obviously an incredibly annoying insect that anyone living on the East Coast at this point probably has dealt with. I believe it's the spotted lanternfly is present in at least 16 states at this point, mostly on the East Coast, although there are isolated populations in Ohio and Illinois, it looks like. So it's just going to keep spreading really, really contagiously, as it were. But airports are a serious concern for the spread of invasive pests, particularly pests which are really mobile or which can lay cryptic eggs. And spotted lanternfly is really good at both of those things. So historically, the big pest that airports have had to care about were Japanese beetles because they would get into cargo holds and things like that. And the major concern was that planes flying west would take Japanese beetles with them and deposit them along the West Coast, which was a huge concern because of all the fruit production on the West Coast, particularly grape production for wine. And now Japanese beetles have started to, after 100 years or so, have started popping up on the West Coast, which is actually a huge problem and will have to be targeted with eradication efforts. But the spotted lanternfly is also on this list now, which is pretty interesting because I hadn't really thought about it, but spotted lanternflies are extremely mobile. If you've ever tried to stomp on them when you see them on the ground, you know that they're pretty good at hopping away. They're not great like long distance flyers, but they're kind of like grasshoppers where they hop and they can fly, although they're kind of clumsy flyers. So now there's this concern that these bugs could get into cargo holds or even in like the passenger spaces and be transported farther west than Illinois right now is kind of the farthest east that it's gotten. And this is a big problem. It's going to require more airports to use more pesticides, and it's also going to require more kind of intensive trapping efforts to make sure that these pests aren't getting on planes. The other issue is that the spotted lanternflies lay eggs that are extremely cryptic. In that they don't look like eggs. They look like just mud spots. And so if they start laying their eggs on like the bottoms of airplanes and things like that, it could end up being that when these eggs go to hatch, these airplanes could be in other countries, they could be all over the United States. We just don't know. So this is going to result in a lot more headaches for airports. And also, as this article points out, this problem also is a concern for people who like to do like cross-country driving or RV camping or move firewood, things like that, because the same problems apply here, where you could be transporting egg masses and not know it, or you could have these stupid bugs like on your tires or up in your undercarriage or even in your trunk and not know it. So keep an eye out for these. You don't want to take these with you if you are traveling, especially for like the holiday season. Most of the adults should be dead by then, but there's no guarantee that they will be. These insects can be pretty cold tolerant. Many of them can survive into December or later, and the egg masses are the stage at which these insects overwinter. So you will definitely have egg masses around, when we get to Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's. So definitely check on if you have big vehicles or campers or anything like that. Make sure that you're not accidentally transporting any of these bugs or egg masses with you. And that goes for any insects. You don't want to be transporting things like gypsy moths or anything like that across state lines either. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks.